Yo, what's up? Here in Las Vegas. Next episode is going to be talking about the big incident with Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington. What my thoughts on it? It's a real tough one. I see both sides, but I think it's interesting. So check it out. Don't miss this podcast. It'll be interesting. Right on.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii podcast. My name is James, and I'm joined by Enson. Enson, you're all the way in Vegas. How is Vegas treating you?
Good, man. Not making as much deposits as I thought I would in the casino. So hopefully from tomorrow make some withdrawals. So it'll be even better. But it's good, man. Yoshi's getting real good training. The guys are taking us in like family, and it's a good time, man. I got 3 more days only.
Oh, wow. That's not long at all. I did see the picture of you and Manel Cape and Tsuyoshi. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what's real funny? Manel Cape plays off this real cocky character, yeah?
Yeah.
Man, he's like the most polite, nicest guy. I don't know if he's doing that to me, but even when he first met Tsuyoshi, he's super cool. I noticed like in the gym, the girls are picking on him, chasing him around the gym. It's like it's a good sign of like a real good personality and a real good character that people trying to screw around with you and stuff, So that's one of those lessons for me. Don't judge people too fast, because I thought he was a dick.
Because the whole Ryzen stuff.
Fights and the way his corner acted, so this freaking dick. I'd like to see him get his ass kicked, but man, I once again stand corrected, man. Super nice guy, very polite, comes up and says gives me his greetings and loves Japan. Super nice guy, man. So hey, all you guys passing judgment on fighters that you just see on the internet, man, just hold off on that until you really need them, because some of these guys are just really nice guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think
like me.
Yeah, all those people judging you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for Manel to see how he does in his next fight. And
yeah, April 23rd.
Yeah, he's eyeing.
We're gonna miss it, but I'll be watching him from Japan.
Yeah, he's eyeing up that title fight as well. So
yeah.
Cool. So today's topic, street beef. You know a lot about street fights. You know a lot about beef. So we're gonna get your opinion on the biggest one in hot topic right now: Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal. So a lot of the fans of this podcast, a lot of the people that have been, long-time MMA fans who have seen a lot of beefs over the year, but this one seems particularly personal, and it escalated one step further. Essentially, Colby Covington coming out of a steakhouse suddenly gets hit by Jorge Masvidal, punched in the face, and Colby has actually gone and believed like he's looking to press charges. Jorge was arrested, and I think he's made bail, but it was a $15,000 bail. But yeah, it's a funny one, because I keep seeing online different people coming at it from two camps, and I'm really curious to get your take on it, because you've got one camp that's saying don't talk about someone's kids. This is that's a line you don't cross, and Colby should have expected to deal with those consequences. You've also got another camp that's saying Jorge had his 25 minutes. He's taking this fight outside the octagon. That's not professional. So where do you stand on it? When you heard the news, what were you thinking?
See, in the old days, I would agree 100% with Jorge, what he did, basketball, with what he did. I would probably have done the same thing, or I probably would have done it before the fight in the hotel. I mean, when it gets, it's hard, because nowadays there's so much entertainment mixed in. You don't know how much of it is actually still entertainment. Of course, Colby, that's a big money fight for him. So, of course, he's probably pretty down for a third fight or a second fight, rematch. So, although he dominated, it's a big fight. Anybody that fights Masvidal is a big payday. It's a big draw, because he's a big draw. Mm-hmm. So, in this day and age, it's really hard. And back in our day, if that was the case, the fight probably wouldn't have went down, because we would have probably grabbed them in a hotel. Because everyone says that's dumb because the fight's happening. Don't fuck up the fight. But for me, the fight wasn't my life. My fight was my honor and my family and my beliefs. And if he insulted it, the fight goes out the window, man. Right now, you and me got something bigger than the fight. It's a personal issue, and it would be something that would have probably been taken care of before the fight. This day and age, I think, I agree with both sides because I agree with Masvidal because it's personal. So fuck the media, fuck the fight, fuck the ring, fuck the rules. It's personal. You and me meet on the street. I mean, from what I hear, I think he came to find him, which I think might have been stepping a little bit out of line. But if he came across him, I can understand why he'd feel that way. The other thing that I want to point out is, I mean, you're gonna fight this guy with no weapons and with no friends, but you had 25 minutes in the ring and you got dominated. So what makes you think that you're gonna beat him in the ring? The only difference you'll beat him in the ring is there's no rules. But if you're gonna go, and fight him like you did in the ring and you throw punches at him and not bring out a weapon and not get out guys to corner him and grab him, then I don't see the idea of that. The third point I want to point out is, I don't agree with Colby pressing charges. I think that's real silly of him to press charges. I saw Khabib write something. I don't agree 100% with Khabib because there's a smart way to do things. I mean, to go hand-to-hand combat with a guy that just dominated for 25 minutes isn't a smart thing. I mean, get your friends to kidnap him. I mean, I'm not saying to do that, but that's another way to do it. I mean, there's smarter ways to do things. But Colby, I mean, Colby pressing charges is not the manly thing to do. But what did you think he was going to do? What did he do to Wordham? Yeah.
Yeah.
When Fabricio hit him with the boomerang, just kind of threw the boomerang on his head. He went to the cops. So he's one of those that just goes to the cops for help, which in a way is a smart thing, and in a way is a pushy thing. It's like you talk the talk, you should walk the walk.
Wow. You know what? I forgot all about that. I forgot Verdum threw the boom. Did he really press charges as well in that situation?
Yeah, he pressed charges. Yeah, I mean that was like a real. Verdum didn't try to take his head off with it. It's kind of just threw at him. You shut up.
Yeah.
Because you're talking smack about Brazil, which is understood, So Verdum just had a boomerang as I think a present for somebody and just kind of threw him with the bag in the bag. And then Colby right away put out his phone, started videoing, and then actually pressed charges on him. So
I remember the incident, but I forgot that he pressed charges. And
Masvidal should have known that he was going to get charges pressed on him. And so with that said, he should have done it in a much smarter way,
Yeah, no, definitely. It's I mean, where do you stand on this smack talk? I mean, it's like a new level, in terms of what these guys are saying to each other. I mean, Colby's guilty of talking about Dustin's wife and kid as well, and he mentioned Jorge being a deadbeat dad and all this stuff. And this is the type of thing this is gonna come up on people when they do this sort of thing. But I mean, well, what would you? I mean, if you were to look back at it, right, and let's just Heath Herring would never say this, but let's just say someone like a Heath Herring said something super personal, like Colby's saying. How does that get handled from 2003 Enson? How do you react to that?
He did it back in the day. He would be visited by the Yakuza or the Chinese mafia. He'd be kidnapped, put into a separate room, and I'd come out and talk to him. Mm-hmm. And it'd be, it'd be like a real big warning that don't go personal. And if you go personal, it's not just going to be me you're going to offend. It's going to offend my family and people that are close to me. And I'm the least worries that you have. The word would be out that keep it clean, man. Back in our day, there was no smack talk. There wasn't no selling fights. So if somebody said something like that about you, it's very personal. I've never had smack talk thrown at me. I don't know if because I was respected or I was feared, but I've never had that, never experienced it. So the only smack talk I've had was Joe Estes. I mean, and he didn't really smack talk me. All he said was, he demands more money because he beat me before, which is true. And he feels I'm a better draw. He's a better fighter than me and that he should deserve more money than me. So that was the only SmackDown. That still pissed me off, you know. So,
Yeah.
I just didn't like how he didn't walk the walk when he demanded so much money and just tapped out right away. So I didn't want to stop punching him. You know, I wanted to hit him one more time, one more time, one more time. So, you know, with that, just something so as mild as that, you know, back in the day, how I would have reacted. I mean, you probably could guess what I would do. And I don't know. It's just a hard thing for these fighters because you got guys like Khabib who are still living the Warriors way and fighting and believing the fight is like our day. You know, what Khabib is saying is 100% true. You know that, you know, all the fighters should not fight Colby if it wasn't our day, but it's not in our day. You know, you got Colby, you got Connor, you got, you know, all these guys talking smack and is selling fights, and you got, you know, Shell used to do that. Shell was one of the pioneers of smack talk. You know, so. And, you know, he was a big draw. You know, everyone who does a big draw, and it's about making money, not about honor and, you know, martial arts anymore. It's about entertainment and making money and getting paid and getting pay-per-view percentage. It's hard to really make a judgment on what's right and wrong right now. You know, I can see Khabib's view because he's a warrior fighting in this entertainment world. And maybe that's the reason why he retired, because it just wasn't the way that, you know, it's supposed to be for a martial artist. You know, so it's a hard call, man. If I was Jorge and if I was Masvidal and I still had very bad feelings about him after he kicked my ass 25 minutes in the ring, I probably wouldn't have won man-to-man on him. I could have probably got him kidnapped in the back, take him out to an undisclosed location, and, you know, make him realize that it's very personal. It's not about media. It's not about anything else. And, you know, he would understand. I mean, he would understand and probably not smack talk again. So it's hard, man. It's really hard to make a judgment. It's hard to say who's right and wrong right now. No matter what day and age it is, though, I still don't agree with Colby pressing charges.
Yeah, that's the bit which I find so odd. Like, how can you be so brave and say all that stuff about the guy's family, and then just, you know, get hit twice and then press charges? It just seems a real unfighter-like thing to do.
Well, I would judge it as a pussy thing to do because of the fact that for 25 minutes, Masvidal hit him like once or twice really good. But for him to, in a matter of 10 seconds, hit him with 2 clean flush blows, Colby obviously let him do that with the obvious intent to press charges. So it was premeditated on Colby's part that he's going to press charges. And, you know, that's his way, man. That's not my way. That's his way. I mean, it's a smart way in a way, because although you show no honor, you show no balls, and you show that you're less of a man, it shows that you're legally taking it in the right way, because now it prevents Masvidal from even getting close to him anymore. And Masvidal can't do anything because now the punishment will be 3 times more severe if there's another altercation like this on Masvidal's part. So, you know, if his motive is to stop Masvidal from being able to touch him, he's doing it right. But I'm sure Masvidal has a lot of connections. He has a lot of friends in Miami. He could be smart, apologize, step back, and let his friends handle it. You know, I mean, if it's that personal to him, I think he should do it the street way. And the street way isn't going up man to man. It's not honorable because you use other guys. It's not honorable because the mafia helped you kidnap them. It's not. There's no dishonor on the street. The street is, you punish a guy for disrespecting your honor. And if it has to do with kidnapping someone, if it has to do with, you know, what we would do to Yakuzas that dishonored us is, if I went on the street and beat them up, I get prosecuted by the law. I mean, for me, we put them in a room, and I believe it's an interesting thing, James. I don't know if you ever thought this. The big fear in death isn't death itself. You know, it's not that when you die, it's over. There's no pain. There's no regrets. You die, you're done. Spiritually, you move on. I mean, in fact, I believe after you die physically, you realize it's not that bad a thing, because now you enter the spiritual life, which is a much better life. You know, so I believe that the root true terror is not death. It's the moment that you believe in your heart that you're going to die until that time you die. So whenever we had people that we grabbed them, I always thought that my objective is to make him believe in his heart that he's in deep shit. He's not going to go home. He's never going to see his family again, and he's going to probably die. And then my job after making him believe that, or my friends' jobs, were to make that time last until he knows he's going to be okay or he's going to die. Make that time last long, because that's the true terror, So
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that, and I believe that Jorge did it. I mean, come on, Colby defended himself for 25 minutes against everything Masvidal could throw at him.
Mm-hmm.
You think Colby's afraid of him?
No. Yeah.
If you're gonna get street justice, do it the street way. I mean, I'm sure Jorge, Masvidal knows how to do that, and he's probably done it before. Don't know why he was mixed up on having honor and going man to man on him. There's on the street, there's no rules, man. You kick him in the nut, kick him in the, I mean, he cheap shotted him twice, right? So
yeah, that's it. I was gonna say, right? He's getting criticized heavily online by people because he's saying that it's a sucker punch and this and that. But like you say, it's in the streets. It's a different world, right?
No rules in the streets. No rules in the streets, man.
Where do you think this ranks in terms of MMA rivalries? There's been so many personal ones over the year, and I'm going to list you a few just to see where you think this ranks. So these are just off the top of my head. I was thinking about this earlier, right? So the obvious one that comes to mind, Conor and Khabib. Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw, that was super personal with the whole team alpha male stuff. Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen was very personal, although I feel like Anderson Silva absolutely put a full stop on that one. DC, Daniel Cormier, John Jones, a very personal one as well. You think they had the fight before the weigh-ins, and they still seem to chat shit to each other. It was GSP, Nick Diaz, and even on your side of the woods in Japan, Akiyama and Misaki. That was it. You remember when the Grease skate? Yeah, when they had the big New Year's Eve fight, and Misaki, I think he soccer kicked him right in the face. And I remember Akiyama went to apologize to him, and he just wouldn't have any of it, I think. So, and he called him a cheat, didn't he? So,
Well, for me, when you hear rivalries, it's Tito and Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, shit. And Tito and Ken as well. Fuck. That was super personal.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, this ranks up there, but the fact that Colby and Conor, I mean, Colby and Masvidal, Khabib and Conor, they rank up there, but with it happening in this day and age, I think a big percentage of it is sales of the fight. So Conor is definitely selling the fight. Colby, a big percentage, is selling the fight and creating that character. So, Masvidal actually knows that, because he actually was saying stuff about Colby crying, saying he's going to be cut. He has to change his character, and that's when he started doing that. So, I think he knows that. I say, the rivalry is that, even Aoki's a big pro wrestler fan. Yeah. So a lot of stuff he does is kind of, you don't know if he's faking that. But, for me, rivalries equals Tito and Chuck Liddell. I mean, those guys would get, if they ran across in a hotel, they'd get it down in a hotel. So that was a real rivalry. So, this one ranks pretty high because I know Masvidal really does take it personal. But it doesn't rank that high because I don't know how much of it from Colby's side is he's trying to be a dick. Because, the stuff he says is really outlandish sometimes.
Yeah,
he says some crazy shit. Even when he's bad mouthing Brazil, that Brazil is a bunch of animals. Everyone, there's nice people in Brazil. There's, the Gracies are real respectful. The Machados are awesome people. So you can't really classify that. He has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trainer, so he's not meaning it that way. So it's obvious that a lot of it is show. So with that said, I don't think that this rivalry is that big in my eyes. I think it's a lot of it's entertainment and it's fun. It's fun for the the casual fan. So with that said, I think Masvidal might have overreacted a little bit.
Yeah, I think it definitely started that way, right? Where they were kind of hyping up the pay-per-view, and then I think, I don't know, it just feels like maybe one step too far. And if these charges go through, he's apparently facing potentially 15 years in jail. So I have no idea what happens next. Surely Colby I don't know how it works over there in the US, but surely you can like take away the charges or something. I don't know. But
I think if Colby drops charges, I think the state can still choose to prosecute or not.
oh whoa,
But I
shit.
think the case would be a lot less if Colby, steps back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he'll get jail time. I think it'll be more like probation or a fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if Colby presses it, I mean, he could probably get very little. I don't think 15 years is realistic. I mean, if he hit an old lady, yeah, but if he hit another professional fighter, there's a big beef, so I don't think he'd get that much. But there'll definitely be a TRO.
Mm-hmm.
And with them both living in Miami, it's very unfortunate for, Masvidal that, TROs are real weird things because if you get served a TRO, which is a temporary restraining order, if you're in a restaurant, if Masvidal's eating in a restaurant and Colby accidentally walks in to eat, Masvidal's got to leave. That's how a TRO works. If there's a big event in Miami and Colby's there, Masvidal can't come. That's how a TRO works. So, like Colby's letting him hit him so he can get a bigger charge on him. Him probably serving a TRO would be a real smart thing, which is probably almost automatic with an assault charge. So, unfortunately, what Colby's doing, as dishonorable as it is, it's super effective.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get under his skin, probably even more. Final question on this: what do you think, if anything, the UFC should do about it?
I don't know. The UFC has some weird stances on certain people. Like Conor gets away with murder.
And punched the old guy in the pub.
Yeah, I mean, with and Masvidal is kind of like a big sales for UFC because I'm thinking he'll probably get the same treatment as John Jones, as Conor. I think the UFC by all means will look the other way. I believe that if it was somebody else like Mark Khan or somebody someone that they don't really get along with or isn't a big draw, they'd probably cut him. I've seen them cut people that had a unexplained domestic violence charge, but they bring in Greg Hardy that's already had a diverse, so it's not I think the UFC doesn't have a straight line of rules that if you do this, you're out. I think it does depend. It's a business, I understand it's a business. So it's how much, the person means to the company is how much they'll put up with. It's almost like me when I have people in my family, the Yamatodamashii. The deepness I have with a person is the leniency I'll have with a person. And if someone's just super loyal to me, he can fuck up pretty bad, but I'll give him more chances than someone who's not loyal, but backstabs me. I'll cut him right away, So I can see where the UFC is standing because their idea is more business. So a business draw is going to get probably a little bit more leniency. Look at John Jones, got away with murder.
Yeah.
I think Conor just got arrested again. Yeah. 2 days ago,
driving dangerously or something.
Yeah, that's representing the UFC very bad. So for him to get off and not even be mentioned is, something that I think Masvidal is not going to get punished that bad.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see whether they try and maybe get fighters to go less personal with the. I think they like the fighters trash talking because it promotes the fight, it sells the fight. But I think there is that line where it breaks into reality a little bit too much, and then that's when we've seen these big incidents happen. So it'll be interesting to see what they do about it.
Yeah,
it's a hard thing to control, though, right? So.
Yeah, it is. It is because Dana White stands in a real hard position because he loves when they sell the fight, and as much as Conor throwing the dolly at the bus was bad, they used it in every promo video.
Yeah,
if they fight again, it's definitely going to be used in promo videos. So you can frown upon it so much, but if you're going to use it for promos, you can't frown upon it too much. So it's a real weird time, For back in our day, everything was drawn black and white. But now it's such a iffy, gray area, man. It's a hard day and time, for fighters and promoters.
Yeah, and then you got all the outrage from fans that can steer things in a different direction. So, But speaking of fans, let us know in the comments what you guys think. What should happen to Jorge? How you think he handled it. And I hope you enjoyed that Express edition. And we'll be back again soon.